Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. This week's article is from the pages of Amicus Illuminismi, Perspectives on Masonic Writing by Brother Chris Ruley, 32nd degree, KCCH, and comes from the September-October 2024 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal. In our Masonic ritual, candidates are encouraged to study the 7 liberal arts and sciences: grammar, rhetoric, logic, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. Many Masons have put this study into practice through the act of writing and Masonic-themed research. Writers utilize rhetoric to express their thoughts or feelings into words, while grammar organizes their words into an eloquent and coherent structure. In essence, Freemasonry encourages its members to write and transmit knowledge to others. Masonic periodicals, journals, and pamphlets have shared information since the organization's formation, and these efforts ultimately promote knowledge, understanding, and enlightenment. Like all skills, however, writing requires discipline, flexibility, and practice. If you wish to write, or perhaps become a better Masonic researcher, consider the following 5 points to improve your work. If you're a Master Mason, check out the Master Craftsman Online College, the premier education platform from the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Southern Jurisdiction. From Craft Lodge to Scottish Rite philosophy, visit www.mastercraftsmancollege.org for complete info and use promo code SRJ2024. That's SRJ2024 for 20% off any course. Develop an outline. Whether it is for a book or an article, outlines are helpful tools to organize and lay out your work. Outlines help you organize your thoughts and develop a visual progression from the beginning to the end. Develop an outline before you write and lay out your main points or arguments in bullet form. You may find through the process additional arguments or points that you may not have considered if you just began writing. Consider creating a first draft of the outline and returning to it after some time with a fresh pair of eyes to see if you need to make corrections. Seek out primary sources. When writing on Masonic topics, it is best to seek out primary sources as your references. Primary sources are original documents created by the individuals who experienced or witnessed the event that occurred. These resources include lodge meeting books, grand body proceedings or transactions, official records, letters, diaries, pamphlets, and manuscripts. Reproductions of original documents are also helpful, especially for difficult-to-access resources. Masonic encyclopedias, printed lodge histories, and other similar written works are considered secondary sources because someone else, the author, attempted to explain the event or subject or summarize another's research. Take caution when referring to these sources, as information may be incorrect, limited, or biased based on the author's experience, interest, or on the availability of information. In Masonic research, do not use general encyclopedias, as these are tertiary sources, and thus far removed from primary sources. If you are unsure where to begin, consider contacting a Masonic librarian, historian, or the publication's editor to learn more. Also, it is also crucial to quote primary sources. Brevity is best. Masonic writing thrives when the work is concise. Brevity reduces confusion and ambiguity in writing, which consequently improves communication and retention. By focusing on your main points, you leave a stronger impression on your audience, and your work becomes more engaging. If something is not integral to your main points, consider eliminating the point completely to reduce unnecessary diversions. Collect feedback. Feedback and communication are critical components to the writing process. While it may seem uncomfortable to collect feedback from a colleague, sharing your work with others will likely strengthen the final product. Through this process, you may find gaps in your work, new perspectives to consider, or helpful corrections to overlooked grammatical mistakes. Before submitting a work for publication, consider sharing it with one or more colleagues, or perhaps the publication's editor, to collect feedback. Tell a story, not just the facts. Masonic-themed writing, especially histories or biographies, is most engaging when an author tells a story. Developing a story around your subject builds greater understanding of the material and, more importantly, entices the reader to keep reading. You can do this by adding context to a specific event or subject, examining the consequences of a subject's action or an event, or explaining how the subject felt or thought. A simple Masonic biography about George Washington, for example, may include facts around his initiation in Fredericksburg Lodge No. 4 or a fraternal visit to Alexandria Washington Lodge No. 22, both Virginia lodges. A more engaging alternative would be to start the biography describing the scene on the morning of September 18, 1793, when he and members of the Alexandria Lodge and 2 Maryland lodges traveled across the Potomac River to lay the cornerstone of the United States Capitol. Narrative elements can describe the music played, or who participated in the parade, the long procession down dirt roads, Washington's regalia, and tools used during the ceremony add human interest to the work. While this may not be applicable to every situation, finding anecdotes and creating atmosphere to supplement your paper will likely further engage your audience. While there are many factors that contribute to stellar Masonic-themed writing, the considerations mentioned above will certainly elevate an author's work. Through developing structured outlines, relying on primary sources, maintaining brevity, seeking feedback, and weaving compelling narratives, aspiring authors can express the 7 liberal arts and sciences, thus continuing the long tradition inculcated in our fraternity's cherished ritual and ideals. Like and share this article, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you wish to comment, please leave one, and as a reminder, hit the notifications bell. The Scottish Rite Journal is published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd degree Managing Editor. I'm your host, Matt Bowers.